Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Saaghe Fogwe podcast. Happy New Year to you all. We made it to 2024. Yay. Now what, right? It's a new year. Um, I don't know if we need to talk about, New Year resolutions, or we should talk about making our year better, improving on the things that, didn't work so well in 2023 and the previous years. But for me personally, I know that the coming year has to be better in terms of improving myself, empowering myself, improving on mindset, improving on on the surroundings, improving those things around me that will make me just more positive, have more positive people around me to make sure that as I'm diving into this year and moving forward, I'm going to be better. I just want every day to be better than the next. Today's show is really tough for me, and a lot of people already knew, kind of what the topic was going to be today. We're talking about preventive care and living benefits. But the reason why I'm specifically focusing on that today is because I have to pay honor, pay a tribute to a very dear friend who passed away on November 1st, 2023. I wanted to start the year with this because at the beginning of the year, we're resetting in so many ways. Like I already started to talk about, we're trying to improve on the year. We're making resolutions. We're looking forward to what lies ahead for us. But at the same time, for those who have a medical coverage, you're resetting your deductibles. You're resetting things that will keep your health better. So why not from the first week already look ahead and say, what are the things I need to do better about? Because we have to think about our health in order to make sure that our mind, body, and spirit is good, right? All of those things are connected. And so that's what we'll be talking about today. Preventive care. What is preventive care? For those who don't know, I'm a family nurse practitioner. On the other hand, I'm a financial professional, but those things collide when it comes to preventive care because for you to enjoy that wealth, don't you think that you have to be healthy and be around to enjoy wealth? I'll let that sit for a minute. I think the answer is yes. Yeah, it is yes, because we have to make sure that we're taking care of our bodies, that temple of God, right? We have to take care of it. And the preventive care is as simple as making sure you're making that appointment, to go in and check your labs, check your teeth, check your eyes. Like I need to very soon because I can't see the screen barely, right? Check your eyes. Just those basic things, making sure that you know what's going on in your body, because there are times when we have incidental findings. We have things that pop up when we go for another appointment and then something else pops up incidentally. But then again, we have to make sure that we're out there, being intentional about our health, being intentional about taking care of our bodies, being intentional about making sure that our screenings are done, making sure that we are up to date on immunizations for those who believe in immunizations. We're making sure that all those annual tests that we need to do, we're taking care of that. Before I go further, I'm going to share the link for those who are not subscribed. If you're not, make sure you're subscribed so that you know when we go live, right? I'm going to share the link to a couple of people here who have been waiting, and then we'll go right into it. Okay. If you're already subscribed, just make sure you're sharing the link. Invite people to watch. They might get something out of today's show. And again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about preventive care and living benefits today. Keep sharing, guys. Keep sharing. Share, share, share. All right. Couple more and then we're good to go. All right. Okay, guys. So we're talking about preventive care and living benefits today. And like I said, it's it's a tribute to a friend of mine. For those who know, before going into the medical field, I was a staff accountant for 10 years. And I worked with my friend Teresa Schloeman for a few of those years. And even after I left that company, I stayed in touch with her. We've we collaborated a lot. She attended just when I was going through pictures. Now I realized how connected I was to this lady because she was at most of the major events in my life. So I really felt like it was important for me to talk about her, to honor her in my own way. Since this is my space, this is a platform that I've set up to to empower people, to encourage people, to reach out to the community. I thought it was my own little way of honoring this lady because she was a great woman, a great mother, a great wife, a great friend, a great coworker. She made me laugh all the time at work. She loved Medea movies, Tyler Perry Medea movies. She Teresa was just a breath of fresh air. Just this lady who lived a full life. She loved to travel. She was there for her children. She loved her children. I mean, she there was not a day that went by without her talking about her kids, her husband. She she took every day as if it was her last day. So for and we'll go into her story here in a little bit, but Teresa she was one of those people who she really did live a full life because she traveled a lot and made plans every time she went on a trip. She was making plans for the next trip. I just it's gonna be a hard show today, to say the least. So the reason we're talking about preventive care for her is because she in 2018 she was one of those who was a little hesitant. Teresa was a little hesitant to do her colonoscopy because at that time colonoscopies was supposed to be done after age 50. The time has been reduced now where you have to do it after you turn 45. So she was a little hesitant to do it just because of the stereotypes about colonoscopies, just the fact that a camera is going in that direction on your body. Most people hesitate to do that. So by the time she started having symptoms and finally went in to get one done, she was at stage 3 colon cancer. This was 2018. So Teresa has battled um, she battled colon cancer from 2018 up to 2023, gone through multiple surgeries. She had a colon resection at some point. She even had an ileostomy bag, an external bag where that's where your waste goes when you have a bowel movement as opposed to, through the regular routes. She went through all of that back and forth, was in remission twice. We celebrated that she was in remission, but then it came back aggressively in 2023, just towards the end, I believe September, October, somewhere in there. So she finally passed away on her birthday, November 1st, 2023. I happen to have texted with her, and that's another thing that really is getting to me, is the fact that I didn't pick up the phone to hear her voice. I texted. So I texted with her on October 12th after my home caught on fire, and I just told her about it by text. We texted back and forth. She was tired, on pain meds, so couldn't really talk. So I guess that's why I didn't have that conversation with her. But then on her birthday, I texted her to wish her a happy birthday, and didn't know that she had passed away that day. So I didn't get a response from her. But weeks later, after her funeral, her husband saw my message on her phone and reached out to me, and that's how I found out she had passed away. Needless to say, we need to reach out to our friends more often. Texting is not always the best way of communicating. Pick up that phone, hear somebody's voice. I mean, I have some regrets, but I think I was really connected with my friend enough to, you know, to pray that her soul rests in peace and that she is in a better place, no more pain for her. Um, there she is on the screen, always smiling. um, I definitely will miss this lady. Yeah. So the reason I think she gave us a gift before passing away, because she actually documented her story for me, and she personalized it to me. I have a long video of that, but I'm not going to play a long video to bore you guys. I just wanted to summarize her story a little bit, to share her life a little bit with you guys, while also educating, using her story, so that her story shouldn't be, it shouldn't end without saving one or two lives out there, without changing somebody's mind. I have people even in my family who are still resisting colonoscopies. And we've had that conversation. And I'm hoping that my friends passing away will be, a segue for them to go and get these screenings. Because now, as a medical professional, when I sit in front of my patients, I I, I speak with passion. I speak with, I have this person in mind whom I love so much and who passed away. And I tell that story, of course, without giving out details to my patients, but I tell that story because I have a life situation that I can present to them. And if I can save one person from going in, finding out at stage 3 that they have colon cancer, by getting them to go get that screening, I know that I've done my job as a medical professional. Um, so the screenings that we have to do out there, you know, apart from the physical assessment that your doctor, nurse practitioner, medical professional has to do on you, they do a head to toe assessment on you. But just doing a head to toe assessment is not enough, because we can't see what's going on inside, right? So that's where lab work comes around. There's certain lab work that has to be done annually, a bigger panel of blood wellness panel that, we need to check your kidney function, your liver function, your thyroid. We want to check your glucose control, so your A1C. We want to
Hi
check
guys, in
your blood count to see what your hemoglobin level looks like, what your hematocrit
conclusion
looks
to
like.
my story
We want to
about
check to see what your electrolytes are, your sodium, your potassium, your chlorine, calcium, things like that. We need to check those things, and the reason is because just some of those markers, like on the blood count, you could see your white count could be elevated. And that could be as simple as you have some kind of infection going on, or you have some kind of um, virus that your body is fighting off. And we need to check those things. So the blood work is one piece. You have those other screenings that you need to do. I've talked about dental. You go check your teeth, every 6 months. I know where we come from. We don't, dental appointment, even when we go to the dentist, they see how strong our teeth are. And most of the dentists are like, "Are you sure you've never been to the dentist?" "No, I chew bones, chicken bones." We strengthen our teeth with bones, right? But we do need to see the dentist every 6 months to have that checked. Annual screening for our eyes, to make sure, especially those who are already vision impaired, you want to make sure that you are screening for your eyes, your vision, to make sure that you have the right prescription. We shouldn't use old prescriptions, which were some of us are guilty of. You recycle those glasses, and you want to use the frames and all that. You also need to do screenings for, like, for women. We need to do our OBGYN screenings, our wellness pap smears, to screen for cervical, cancer, ovarian, things like that. We want to make sure that we're seeing an OBGYN at least once a year for that. I know the pap smears are now 2 to 3 years. I'm not in women's health, so that's not my specialty, but I know that I think it has been changed to where you can do your well woman every year, but then a pap smear can be done every 2 to 3 years. Mammograms, your breast. We have to do self breast exams. So every time you're in the shower, you want to make sure you're examining your breast to make sure that there are no nodules, no knots there that shouldn't be there. Men do get breast cancer too. So it is possible for a man to have breast cancer. So men also have to do breast exams, because without that, if your body changes, nobody can tell but you know your body more than anybody else. And some people go in for a mammogram because they found a knot somewhere, or a nodule somewhere. And of course, your primary physician can teach you how to do that, or your OBGYN for the females. For men, prostate cancer is out there. You can screen for that. They don't necessarily have to do a prostate exam on you. Now, blood work can show it's called a PSA. We can check that, it's a prostate specific antigen. It's a marker that might show, the levels being different, things like that. What are the screenings? We want to screen for, of course, colorectal cancer, like we've talked about Teresa's story. It's through the colonoscopy. If you do a colonoscopy and it's good, it's negative, you don't have to do it for 10 years. So that's the best part of it. Is the worst part of it is the prep for the colonoscopy, drinking all that stuff that needs to clear out your colon. But when you're asleep, you wake up, it's done. I got mine done at age 46, and I'm good for 10 years. The color guard, the little card that they give you to smear with feces to check it, is good, but it's not, as extensive as a colonoscopy. So we want to make sure that we're going in, if you're at that age, 45 and above, go in and get your colonoscopy. We talked about the mammogram. We've talked about colonoscopies. Out there, you have to make sure that you're also checking for we talked about cervical cancer, we talked about prostate, we talked about colon. You want to make sure that you're just going in and having screenings in general for, like when you do your blood work, if there's anything that comes up, we want to make sure that even through the vital signs, that your doctors are checking your blood pressure, cholesterol. There are three things: that diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. Those things cause the metabolic syndrome that most people are going through because of obesity. So when we're doing all this, we're wanting to make sure overall we're well. So exercise, the foods that we're eating healthy, all those things come in combination to you having your screenings done. Just make sure that overall you're healthy. And that's really what preventive care is to catch these things before they hit us, and to make sure that we're on top of it. We're making sure that we are, we're taking care of that, our bodies in what is going into our mouths. We're making sure that we're eating healthy. We're focusing on that, being intentional. It's really not about the physical outlook, how we look. Do we look like a model? Are we size 0? Are we size 2? It's not about that. It's really about making sure that we stay a little bit longer. For those who have kids, you want to see your kids graduate from school. You want to see your kids walk down the aisle at their wedding. You want to attend big events in their lives. You don't want to be that mother who's sitting in the corner. You can't get up and dance with your child. You can't. you're admiring them from a distance. You can't be there for them. So being healthy first for us and then for our families. So I think, in a nutshell, we're talking about all these things, the preventive care. And the reason it's important is because if we're trying we have all these goals that we've set for ourselves. How are we going to get to these goals if we're not healthy enough or we're not around to meet those goals? Like for me, I want to travel. I still want to travel. Yes, I'm in my 40s. I still have that on my bucket list. I have countries that I want to travel to. But if I'm not healthy enough to go do these things that I want to do, it won't benefit anything. If I have set these goals, I've set money aside, I'm trying to build wealth, I'm trying to pass on wealth to my children, I'm not able to do that. So that's why I'm really wanting us to start off the year by really focusing on this. And then when we go to the other part of it, I talk about our topic being preventive care and living benefits. What are living benefits? These are benefits that we can use while we're still alive. You don't have to be gone to benefit from them. The living benefits are really making sure that we have benefits that we can take with us, not just attached to our jobs, because the tendency is that we depend on what short-term disability at our job, long-term disability at our job. But what happens when you switch jobs? When you switch, you have to start all over and start getting those benefits. So we want to take some portable benefits with us that help us when, let's say in Teresa's case, when she fell sick, when you fall sick, the first thing that goes is what you first of all, your hours get reduced. You can't work as much as you want to. Secondly, you get to the point where you can't even keep the job, might not hold that job for you as long as you want them to. And then if you lose the job, those benefits, either way, they go through the door. You don't have those benefits anymore because you're too sick to do the job that they hired you to do. And so if you don't have portable benefits that move with you wherever you go, you're going to lose that short-term disability anyways. You're going to lose the long-term, or you run out of it. So what I'm trying to say here is that as a financial professional, taking off the medical professional hat and putting on the financial professional hats, we need to make sure that the living benefits that we have will be there for us in case of a chronic, critical, or terminal illness. These are things that will hit us. I know most people will say, God forbid, it's not going to happen to me. Or I come from a healthy family. We don't get sick. Oh, that's not my portion. Those things that we're disclaiming illness. But when it comes, we have to be ready for it. And how do we prepare for it? We prepare by sitting down, creating a plan for ourselves, making sure that we have the right benefits in place, so that you even if you were to lose your income, you have those benefits to replace your income. You have those kick in when you are not able to wake up in the morning, go to your job. If you're the breadwinner, you want to make sure that your income because your income is missing, your family doesn't miss out on the normal things that they need, because kids will still get hungry. They still need to eat. Bills will still come. Do you think the water company is going to turn off the water because you're sick? Do you think the mortgage company is going to freeze the mortgage because you're sick? Even right now, with me dealing with my house that caught on fire, I'm in a temporary housing, paying there, and I still have to pay my mortgage. Do you think the mortgage company cares that your house caught on fire? No, they don't. They don't. That's why we have to prepare for those things. We have to be ready for those things. We have to have those benefits that will replace our income, that will make sure that life goes on. Nothing stops. There's no interruption in your daily routine. We have to start thinking about that. There are people who think about that. Do you think the old guy who has a home health nurse, respiratory therapist, physical therapist, whoever coming to their house to take care of them, do you think they have two heads? They planned ahead. That wealthy guy down the street who lives on the same street as you, is going to be taken care of in their home because they have what we call living benefits that will take care of them. So I'm reaching out to you, my brother, my sister, my auntie, my uncle, my friend, my coworker, whoever is listening to my voice right now. Start thinking about these things now. Start thinking it so that we can get out of the mindset of we're going to have a GoFundMe that's going to circulate to take care of our benefits. We're going to have a GoFundMe that's going to take care of us when we're sick. We're going to have a GoFundMe that's going to take care of us in case we become paralyzed and we're in bed and we can't do anything. We have to get out of that mindset and make sure that we are ready in case something like this happens. And how can we be ready? Sit down, make a plan, sit down with a professional. It doesn't have to be me. It can be me. It doesn't have to be me. It could be anybody. I want the whole community to be taken care of. It doesn't have to be just me. But whoever's out there, reach out, sit down with a financial professional, make that plan, make a plan that fits your budget. Start with that budget. Even this as a year start with that budget for this year, and make sure that living benefits are a part of it, because we need to be more realistic than we've been in the past. We need to change something, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. We have to make that plan for this year. And that's why we made sure that the beginning of this year, I wanted the show to be about this. I'm not going to drag it out. I'm not going to make a long show. It's going to be short and sweet. But I didn't want my friend's death to not mean anything. I wanted it to mean something. And I wanted to pay tribute to her, because it's not that she didn't take care of herself. She did. She took care of herself. She did, except for, her screening that was not on time, but she took care of herself. She loved her family. She lived a full life, but I still want to pay tribute to her because she deserved it. And she was a good friend to me. And for her to pass away after struggling, she really wanted to make it to Christmas and she didn't. But for her family who are probably watching right now, or who will watch this video later, know that Teresa loved you. John, if you're watching, Alan, Andrea, Sarah, Thomas, all of you and all her friends out there, and all our TPG co-workers whom we work together, if you're watching, I just wanted Teresa's life to mean something. And that's why I made sure I dedicated this show to her. And she, like I said, she did a long video for me, but I want to conclude the show today with her own voice, giving you a message that she has sent to me a year ago, or over a year ago, November of 2022. That's a year before she passed away. But I want you to hear from her why this show was important and why I'm really stressing on preventive care and living benefits. But to all of you who have watched the show today, I want to appreciate you and thank you. Please, please, please share this video. Share this video to whoever, even if it's someone you don't like, share it to them. It will help somebody. Share this video on your social media platforms. Send it to whatever groups you belong to, so that somebody can be blessed with this message. And if anyone wants to reach out to me, you can send out a private message, or you can go to my website, www.starheritageld.com, www.starheritageld.com, and reach out to me, make an appointment, and we'll set up a one-on-one appointment to sit down and have a conversation. Until next time, I'm going to let you hear Teresa's voice, and that's how we're going to end the show.
Hi, guys. In conclusion to my story about screening for colon cancer, make sure that your income is protected. Like I said before, that I had private insurance, but I was still stuck with a few $1,000s of medical bills and copays and other expenses related to my cancer journey. Make sure you check with Saaghe about living benefits, and she will be able to point you in the right direction on what you need for your family. And thanks again for listening to my story. I hope that you guys get your colonoscopies and never have to go through this. Thank you.